Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what happened with my photo shoot with Hayley. I did this for a number of reasons and I kind of wanted to share that all with you. So I've worked with Hayley a couple of times now and she's a great model. We always have a good laugh and she's obviously practiced a lot with her posing and knows really well kind of how to position herself and how to put herself in photos to get the best out of her. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this and I've got Hayley's approval to show you this is that I wanted to talk about something that obviously I know a lot of models and a lot of people who have never done photo shoots before get very worried about and very concerned about. So this here is the photo of Hayley that we took, this one on the left here, and this is the one I edited up. Now Hayley, and her own admission, is deep into off season right now. She is normally very lean, lots of muscle on show, and she's just very kind of focused on achieving her best body physique. And obviously to do that she has to go through a season where she doesn't, isn't dieting. She has to allow her body to kind of reset, eat food to actually grow, to then allow the muscles to grow bigger, to then obviously come back looking stronger and better every year. So every kind of competitor or anyone who does compete and goes through multiple years of competing has to do this journey. And the reason why I asked Hayley to do this shot, so initially we were going to do a headshot thing that I set up in my upstairs in my loft here, and I wanted to do something that was just a little bit different because I always kind of shoot stuff like this. And then as we got started, I kind of realised actually it'd be really cool to actually show people exactly what can be done with a photo, but also the reasons why I'm against most of it. So we obviously shot this, and this is exactly how Hayley looked up in the studio. Now, I know Hayley's quite confident, and she's obviously got a lot of ability in dieting and knowing about her body and how to place it. Now, normally around here, this is where the section she says she hates, just purely because anyone that's got a bit of a tummy knows that they just don't like it. And then obviously everyone's going to hold a little bit on their sides and their back as well. Upper body really didn't really change, and I did make a tiny bit of an adjustment to her face when I edited this, but not a great deal. A lot of this is mainly my lighting and my editing style to kind of enhance things, but I also did do a little bit of manipulation on her, just on her stomach and on her kind of waist area, a tiny little bit on her shoulders and arms just to enhance it, but not a hell of a lot. And the reason why I'm showing you all of this is the fact that a lot of models nowadays, they have a real hard time, especially with social media and the pressure to look good and constantly be at your best. It's so hard to be able to maintain that, and if you want to make any improvements, you have to come away from being that lean to then add it, or you've got a very long slog of being super lean and just kind of growing it very slowly, which is probably not the best way to do it. Like, I know a lot of competitors out there that do, they fully eat as much as they can, go back to kind of getting their body working. Obviously when you diet down that lean, obviously the chances of you getting ill and just kind of maintaining that low calories gets very tough. Socially you want to be able to go out and enjoy yourself. So I don't blame any competitors for going back to this stage where they're not at what they class as stage lean or just kind of photo shoot ready or anything like that. So one of the things that I want you to take away from watching this video, and obviously this is why I'm so thankful for Hayley for actually doing this, is that realistically, whatever I've done in this photo to make this photo usable in Hayley's mind. Now, I asked Hayley's permission and she said that she loved this photo, but she wouldn't show it off because of this. And that was the reason why we picked this one, because I wanted to show you just what we could do. Now, she's in off season. I like the pose. It kind of has a bit of confidence in her face, but you can see some kind of insecurity in her figure here. Like, it's not the most confident look. I've obviously tried to enhance that by bringing her muscles out a little bit more, but you can see in her that even though her face wise she still looks exactly the same, she still looks the same old Hayley, she just obviously looks different figure wise, and that's obviously the one thing that is part of the reason why she got into doing what she was doing, because she wanted to learn more about health and fitness and how to diet properly, and the good way to learn how to find where your comfortable space is in life, whatever weight that is you sit at. But it's having the knowledge that if you did want to diet down, you can do, and you know the system for it. And if you actually wanted to be comfortable in what you weigh, where you can sit at comfortably before you know that you're actually getting too high from where you were, and to kind of pull it back down again. So yeah, obviously I'm super thankful for Hayley for actually allowing me to do this. Um, but realistically, a lot of the changes were made in this photo from the left of what we started with was just the lighting. Hell of a lot of the tweaks were the lighting. You can see that I've made it a lot brighter on her face. I've enhanced places like her shoulders, her arms, on her chest, and just kind of down by like where her obliques would have been and down on her side, just to kind of give more light to those areas, and then add a bit more shadow into the places where we want things to look thinner. So obviously to make the chest look a bit obviously like her stomach to look smaller as well, kind of added a bit more shadow in at the bottom of her bra, and just kind of darken down like the stomach, and just kind of things around the face and this side, just to kind of give it a bit more contrast and actually show just to give it a bit more shape. And you can see how dramatically that changes the image and actually makes her appear a lot thinner just by doing that anyway. Now with this photo here, I'm going to show you, this is all low resolution, so it's not going to be super high, but I'm going to show you effectively what I did with this photo to make Hayley look the way I did. And this isn't a tutorial to just show you exactly how to do all this, because it takes a very long time to teach something like this, and also you can very easily mess things up by doing something like that, and it just wouldn't look right. So the main things what I did here with Hayley's, and I remember what I did, you've got a couple of different options here is to kind of warp things, or actually kind of suck, or like suck things in, or make them kind of bloat, or and so on. So what I actually did here was to pull everything in around her stomach here, using the brush tool. Where has it gone? Where is it? So there it is. So with this, what I've done is actually shrunk Hayley's stomach down a little bit. Now you'll see if I turn the preview on, instantly where I've turned that on and off, you can see the difference in that. So where I've just kind of pulled her stomach in a little bit, I've just enhanced that, made her stomach look a little bit leaner, look a bit tighter. You can see I've actually made a difference to her underwear there, which obviously isn't what we really want to do. So we're going to go right back to the very start. We're just going to try and focus on her stomach here, just shrinking that down a tiny little bit, just to kind of make it appear a bit thinner. We're also going to do the same on the back as well, obviously being very careful, because when you do this, use this tool, it pulls everything in everywhere around it. So, and it's easy enough to do something like this where you start manipulating the arm. And I also did a very tiny bit up here just to make her face, you can see that difference in that bit of movement there, to just kind of pull her face in a little bit more. Then I went over to which is I never remember the name, the forward warp tool, and basically what I did is I just nudged little bits of her stomach in like this, just to make it appear that little bit leaner. Now this isn't obviously going to look exactly the same as what I did before, because it's nigh on impossible for you to actually reproduce exactly what you've done in the first place, but just to give you a bit of an idea of what I actually ended up doing here was just thinning this in a bit. I actually pushed her glutes out a tiny bit more, just to fill them out a tiny bit. You see it's easy to make massive mistakes here and just obviously pull things out and make them look unreal, and then or unrealistic, not unreal in a kind of, oh my god, that looks incredible. Or literally all I did here was just to kind of add a little bit more shape to her head, to just kind of enhance all the kind of muscles and just make things pop a little bit more. Did a little bit on that side just to kind of enhance that. Now you can see from this, obviously I haven't gone crazy doing this, but this is going to be a very quick example. Let's just see if I can get this to a size fit in the view, where you can see the difference in what I've done with her there. And I've just pulled her stomach in, kind of given her a bit more shoulder, and just obviously pulled that waistline in. Now obviously, like, I'm not going to go fully in depth with what I did, because obviously it would take me a very long time, but now you'll be able to see we're a lot closer to where we were before. I've obviously thinned it out a lot more in her waistline here, but yeah, you get the example there of exactly what we've done, going from this backwards and forwards again, just to show you how you can tweak and change someone. Now, obviously, I've done that. I've added the lighted on, and I've also kind of got rid of any blemishes or anything like that. And this was the final example that we came out with. And as you can see, from Hayley's point of view, she's going to be a lot happier with that. Her waist looks more like it would normally do. Even though she's not shredded, it still looks similar to where she was. We've just added a bit more shadow into these places to enhance things. But what I want to fundamentally get across to you here is I could sit here and do this with every single image that I ever take of every model who, whether they're lean or whether they've lost lots of weight, but they're still like kind of not like down to like a stage like stage physique, which a lot of people would like to do. But the fundamental thing that never changes is the actual person inside of this picture. Hayley won't change, and it won't benefit her from me editing her photo to look like this. We've done it as an example to show you guys exactly what can be done, but realistically, the thing inside of you is that you should learn to love yourself and love who you are, whatever time of the life you're going through. People go through tough times, and I understand that obviously, like sometimes like things like health and, you know, like easy to drink and stuff like that, sometimes those things crop in. But what is fundamentally important to remember is that this person inside of you here will never change. It will always be that person that's been through the journey, gone through and conquered any of the demons that you may have had from a fitness journey that, you know, have put you into that place in the first place. I can do lots with my photos to actually make you look leaner and thinner and do all of that type of stuff. But realistically, you know deep down that's not you, and that would never be you unless you put in the hard work to actually get to that point that I wouldn't need to Photoshop you. So what I want you to take away from this, and obviously I've kind of baffled on a lot about kind of the editing side of things, but what I really want you to take away from this is that if you're going to diet down for a photo shoot, if you're really wanting to achieve great levels of things, then you have to put in the hard work and you have to prepare yourself for that hard work. But at the same time, it is fundamentally important that you remember who's in this journey, and that you shouldn't be judging yourself on just how lean your waist looks or how this looks. As a competitor, yes, on stage, that's what everyone's going to look at. But at the same time, there's 10 different people standing on that stage who are all 10 completely different people, built in different ways from different genetics, and everyone's going to have different things that are good and bad about them through everyone else's own perspective. It's not going to be that is the rules of how you have to look to be perfect, because kind of beauty and everything is in the eye of the beholder. It's not of just one look that looks great. So I want you to take away from this is that if you see this photo here, I photoshopped it to make Hayley look how she would normally look in her photos when we shoot, when she's closer to her stage weight. Obviously, she'd be even more defined if she was stage weight, but at the same time, that's not how she would look generally if she were trying to maintain just a normal physique. But Hayley has come through a journey in herself. She's overcome some demons that she had to face to get to where she's got to now. And the whole point is that no one can take away the knowledge, the expertise, and the actual story that you've been through to get to where you want to go. So when people say to me, can you Photoshop me to make me look thinner or leaner and everything like that, then I'd normally say no. I will occasionally do a few bits if there's a birthmark or a scar or something like that that people want to remove, or if it's for a brand where their images have to be perfect that we need to do that, then I'll take that compromise and I'll go along with that. But at the same time, I never Photoshop anyone, because you should be proud and happy to be who you are without having to Photoshop you just to please anyone else. So I know this is a bit of a wholehearted kind of video here, and I just want to say to you that generally, if you're going to go and do something with your life, don't be worried about what other people think. Go and be happy. Love yourself for who you are. You could have been born in this world a tree. You could have been born into the slums and never had any of the luxuries that most of us in the UK or anywhere in Europe and America can have. So be fortunate that you've got that, and go and live life and stop wasting your time worrying about what other people will think of you, because it won't bring you any happiness, and it certainly won't get you to where you want to be. So I hope this helps. I hope you found this useful and insightful. And yeah, if you're going to go out there and achieve things, put in the hard work to achieve them, but be realistic and be honest with yourself that times are going to come where you're going to need to step off the gas, allow yourself to rebuild, and then go again. And it's always important to be in love with yourself and be happy with who you are. So I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe if you like this type of thing. Let me know in the comments if you found this useful, and I'll see you again on the next one. Oh.